Tyler Bertuzzi, former Toronto Maple Leafs player and now Chicago Blackhawks forward, finds himself at the center of a controversy that could lead to NHL disciplinary action. The investigation revolves around potential tampering, a prohibited yet often debated practice that allegedly occurred before the start of free agency on July 1st. What does this mean for Bertuzzi and the league as a whole? The controversy began with reports that Bertuzzi had spoken with Nick Foligno, the Chicago Blackhawks captain, before his contract with the Maple Leafs had expired. Such direct contact would violate NHL rules, which strictly prohibit communication between players and other teams before the official opening of free agency. The key issue? Bertuzzi reportedly admitted on social media that Foligno approached him, saying the conversation sparked his interest in signing with Chicago. While behind-the-scenes discussions are common, the league appears concerned about ensuring these practices don't become blatantly public. It's unclear what punishment, if any, will follow. The NHL might opt for something symbolic, such as a public reprimand, or go further with a substantial fine, or even a suspension. The outcome likely depends on how strictly the league wants to enforce its rules to set a precedent. This investigation comes at a time when the NHL is trying to balance practical realities for players and teams with maintaining clear rules in the negotiation process. The question is, how can the league prevent similar situations without hindering athletes' natural decision-making processes? The case brings back memories of another tampering investigation involving John Tavares and his arrival in Toronto in 2018. At the time, there were suspicions of a prearranged deal before free agency officially opened, but the league found no concrete evidence against the team or player. This comparison highlights that tampering, while prohibited, isn't a new issue. It reflects the realities of a league where quick, informed decisions can shape the future of careers and franchises. The controversy raises an important question. Should the NHL allow an official pre-negotiation period? This could give players and teams a chance to discuss contracts openly before free agency begins, reducing the need for back-channel discussions. Do you think a more transparent system would benefit both players and teams? Or are the current rules sufficient to maintain the integrity of negotiations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This case could reshape the future of NHL negotiations, and we want to hear your take. Should Bertuzzi face punishment, or is the league overreacting? In other news, Toronto Maple Leafs fans were stirred this week by the possibility of Evgeni Malkin donning blue and white. The idea, floated by John Steitzer of the Leafs Nation, has NHL circles buzzing. Is this a realistic possibility, or just a distant dream? It's no secret that the Maple Leafs face challenges with their center depth. Austin Matthews and John Tavares are undeniable cornerstones, but the lower lines still lack consistency, an issue in a season set to test the team's resilience. The suggestion to bring in Malkin might seem bold, but is this the kind of move GM Brad Treliving would consider? Steitzer believes so. He pointed out that Malkin's $6.1 million cap hit could be manageable, and that both the Leafs and Penguins' current GM, Kyle Dubas, have shown creativity in complex negotiations. Would Dubas, who once led the Maple Leafs, actually help his former team? That's a divisive question. As exciting as the idea sounds, there are plenty of hurdles to overcome. Malkin, an NHL legend, has made it clear his heart remains in Pittsburgh despite the Penguins' recent struggles. Furthermore, with another year left on his contract after this season, he wouldn't be a short-term solution, making the acquisition cost even higher. Not to mention Malkin's injury history. Is it worth investing valuable assets in a brilliant player who might carry physical and salary cap risks? These are questions Treliving must answer if he chooses to pursue this possibility. Speculation like this always sparks intense debate. On one hand, There's the allure of pairing a player of Malkin's caliber with Matthews and Marner. On the other, there's the risk of jeopardizing the team's future for an uncertain present. What do you think? Could Malkin be the missing piece for the Leafs to take the next step in the playoffs? Or is the price too high, both in assets and financial impact? Share your thoughts. If you were Brad Treliving, would you push for this deal or stick to safer options? After all, this could be one of the riskiest decisions a Leafs GM has ever faced.